If you are watching this video, chances are that you are in the market for motorcycle air vest. It is not a quick decision, both from a cost point of view as well as safety, knowing that it's going to work when you need it the most and not just blow up when you least expect it, as it happened to me. After spending countless hours researching various brands, I recently purchased Alpinestars Tech Air Vest 5 Plasma Edition. And in this video, I will share an owner's candid review of what I like about this jacket and what I don't like, so you can make an informed decision. Little background. I owned a Dainese air vest for many years. But during my last trip, I dropped my bike at less than 5 miles an hour in the sand coming out of somebody's driveway. The bike fell, airbag inflated, and the jacket became absolutely useless mid-trip. I was very disappointed. The airbag should not have inflated at such a low speed. I'll share the video link with you so you can be the judge of that. The technology of Dainese air vest was a big disappointment. Granted, it was the first generation. Dainese have made improvements since then, but it was not a cheap jacket. It should not have blown up in that incident. Anyway, fast forward, I found myself in the market for a new air vest. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing. Repacking that air vest was more than $300. I was like, I'm not gonna spend $300 on a first generation air vest when there are newer models available, and for a little bit more money I can get a brand new vest. I looked at all the major brands. I looked at, of course, Dainese and Climb, Elite, as well as Alpinestars, and ended up buying Alpinestars Tech Air 5. The marketplace is crowded, and choosing the right fit was a bit of an overwhelming process. I looked at the technical specs of all of these brands, how many revisions they have done to their product, as well as how much real-life data they have incorporated into their design, and most importantly, what are all the reviewers saying about their product. After owning an air vest for a number of years, I had my own criteria. That was things that were important to me. Number one was ability to replace the cartridges myself. I didn't want to have to again ship it off to somebody. Second, I wanted a physical on and off switch. I travel abroad a lot, do motorcycle rides internationally. So when transporting the air vest in the plane, I wanted to have the ability to turn that off. Next, I wanted to make sure that it had good battery life so that it can last me 2 to 3 days before needing to charge. I often go camping on the motorcycle, and at times there is no place to charge the vest. And lastly, breathability. I often end up finding myself riding in hot weather, whether it's locally or internationally. It just happens. So the air vest has to be breathable. Each of the brand has their own advantages, but I found Alpinestars to be the leader. But path to establishing Alpinestars as a leader was not so straightforward. When I was reviewing all the various products, I kept getting mixed reviews about Alpinestars. Some websites, it said that you can replace cartridges by yourself, and other websites said no, you have to send it off to a dealer to have it serviced. So initially, I had ruled out Alpinestars. Then I ended up calling our friends at Revzilla. By the way, big shout out to Revzilla for their friendly staff who helped me clarify some of the things. It turned out Alpinestars' latest edition, the 2025 model, there is a V2 in the description, which is very easy to overlook when you are looking at multiple products. In the beginning, you don't even remember the names of the product, let alone paying attention to the version, a V2 in the fine print. The latest model of Alpinestars allows you to change the cartridges by yourself, and it's a very easy process, and you can carry a spare cartridge and it's less than $100. Alpinestars makes various models, and initially I was set on buying Tech Air 3, which is the vest version of their airbag. I looked up online and found out that my local cycle gear carries the medium size air vest of Alpinestars. So I went out there to my local cycle gear to buy Alpinestars Tech Air 3. I ended up walking out of the store with Tech Air 5. Now some of you probably are going, what happened to you, Mr. Research? Well, I have an explanation. I was in the market to buy a vest because I always ride with a full protective gear. My outer jacket has a CE grade protection in all the right places, so I didn't feel that I needed extra protection. That was the rationale for buying a vest rather than a much broader coverage vest like I am wearing. Plus, who wants to spend more money than they have to? But there was a crucial reason why I pivoted away from Tech Air 3. Tech Air 3 is designed to be worn inside as well as outside, and that's where the problem began. The medium size on me was like as I was wearing a tarp. I could fit another one of me inside that size. There was no mechanism to tighten the vest. At least in my old Dainese vest, that was also very loose, but you could take the Velcro and tighten it. But Alpinestars has not designed any that type of feature. On top of that, the fabric was really hard. There was no way that would have any breathability. And it makes sense. If it's a vest designed to be worn outside, it has to be able to withstand the elements, and that explains such a strong and tough outer shell material. For me, that was a big no-go. And that's when the cycle gears staff came in handy. Thanks very much to all those knowledgeable people at Cycle Gear. Big shout out to them as well. The guy told me that he wears Tech Air 5 and I should try it out. I told him hey, why do I want to pay more for that? And he said just try it out. Here's a medium size. Well, I tried it reluctantly, and let me tell you, it was a love at a first wear. The jacket felt like I was not even wearing anything. It felt great on the skin, and it has a lot more breathability. The fabric is designed to wick the moisture, and on top of that, it is 25% lighter than Tech Air 3 vest, which is a big deal for long trips like I do. That's what sold me onto it, and I will share some of the more key features about this vest that I like. So first and foremost, comfort and airflow. The Air Vest boasts excellent airflow design. The fabric is not just soft, it's breathable, actively wicks moisture, keeping you cooler and dry in those hot rides. Number 2, superior coverage. You have much broader coverage coming down all the way to your shoulders, so much better collarbone protection, shoulder protection, and chest protection, as well as back protection. And number 3 goes hand in hand with the extra protection is the integrated back protector. This model features their latest Plasma Edition back protector, which molds to your back and adds to the extra CE Level 2 grade protection. Number 4, very intuitive and easy activation. You just zip it up, the magnetic switch connects. It's foolproof. You get a haptic feedback that the system is armed and ready. Lastly, the advanced sensing technology. This jacket has 3 accelerometers and 3 gyroscopes, so it will give you an instant protection. It can sense the crash very rapidly. I forgot the number, milliseconds it can respond in. It is very fast. And on top of that, they have incorporated thousands and thousands of hours of racing data as well as street riders data to refine their design. So Tech Air or Alpinestars in general has done a phenomenal job, and I believe their knowledge and technology is unmatched. I will not go into the technical details of this vest. There are plenty other videos out there and you can check that out on the Alpinestars website, but I'll focus on more the ownership experience as a user, as well as the lifetime value of this Air Vest. As I mentioned earlier, servicing the vest is a big hassle. And this is where I feel Alpinestars, at least the latest edition, the 2025 and onward, really shines. Servicing the jacket is as simple as opening the back, twisting the can open, and putting it back on. You can easily carry a spare canister on your ride, and if you need be, you can on the fly swap the canister and know that air vest is back in its full capacity and functioning as it should be. You can replace the canister up to 6 times. I believe afterwards, in the 7th time, it will show that system is not active anymore, and you have to send it to Alpinestar for servicing. Speaking of self-serviceability, Alpinestar also give you this piece called integrity tester. Let's say you replace the canister by yourself, and you're not sure if the airbag has been punctured. Let's say you hit some sharp object. So you can plug this into the back. There's a spot for it, and use a bicycle pump to inflate the air vest to make sure that there's no air leaking out of the vest. Another great feature of this vest, which does not come in Tech Air 3, is that you can change the modes. You can do racing, street, and off-road. You simply hold this button for 2 seconds and it changes the mode and cycles through different modes. Very, very easy. Another great value of this jacket is that it can hold 30 hours of charge, which is good for 2 to 3 days without charging, as you typically ride between 6 to 8 hours, 8 hours maximum. Even if you rode 10 hours a day, that will last you 3 days easily. Lastly, the app is an amazing feature. You can easily pair it with the vest and upgrade the firmware through the app. Very intuitive design. You can also use it for changing the modes and other settings that you want to change. And by the way, that also gives you data of your rides. So you can download where have you been and what your speed was, all the information about your ride from the app. You don't need to now get another third-party app to track your rides, which I thought was an amazing feature. Now on to the not so good parts about this vest. As I mentioned, it's very, very easy to activate this jacket, but that also means that at the end of the ride, you took off your jacket, you threw it up on the bed, and the magnetic switch is connected and air vest blew off. I did read a lot of reviews of older models of Alpinestar where users were complaining that they simply threw the jacket on the chair or the bed and it blew off. Again, very disappointing. It should not happen. In my older vest, there was a magnetic switch that you can fold this to the other side, and there was a magnet and it held this activation switch there so that you know that it will not connect and accidentally activate the vest. Then the next, I mentioned that you can change modes. Very easy to change modes, but there is no difference in haptic feedback whether you are in a track mode, street mode, or off-road mode. The ability to change the mode easily is great feature. I love it. I was able to change modes even with the jacket on top of me, but I cannot really tell whether I am in a race mode or I am in an off-road mode. On off-road mode, the activation time period is a little slower, so it doesn't respond as fast, while in the track mode, it's very, very fast, and any little bump, it will go off. So I really wish that I could tell which mode I am in right now, and so that I'm sure that, hey, I'm not going to accidentally blow off this jacket while doing off-road adventures. I hope Alpinestar is listening to this video and pays attention to these 2 drawbacks and does something creative design-wise as to alleviate these 2 issues. But if you feel that you have figured out a ways to work around these issues, please let me know. Like I said, not every product is perfect out there, but this vest is worth every penny. I know it's expensive, but let me tell you, after owning it for a few months, I absolutely love it, and I think you will like it too, despite these couple of minor drawbacks. So I hope you found this video valuable. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next adventure. Bye for now.